Nestled in the heart of China's Zhejiang province lies a small village named Jisikao. From a distance, this village appears as ordinary as any other. However, the moment you step inside, you discover that lurking behind every door is one of humanity's most primal fears: the snake. The inhabitants of this village do not merely coexist with snakes, they farm them just as one would farm chickens. The village has a population of only 800 people, yet 120 of its families collectively produce over 3 million snakes annually. And all of this takes place within a tiny area of just 4 square miles. There was a time when this creature was the village's most terrifying menace. Today, however, snakes have become common household pets, found in nearly every living room and bedroom. Here, even 3-year-old children treat these formidable reptiles as toys, embracing them without fear. Over the past 30 years, more than 100 million snakes have been bred in this village. China currently supplies 70% of the snakes to the global market, and a full 20% of that supply comes from this single village alone. The practice of snake farming in this Chinese village originated in the 1970s. At that time, a local farmer named Yang Hongchang was suffering from a spinal ailment. Yang spent his entire life savings on medical treatment, but to no avail. Yang Hong came from a very impoverished family and consequently could not afford any further expensive medical care. Desperate, he sought the assistance of a practitioner of traditional Chinese medicine. The practitioner suggested a unique remedy: catching venomous snakes, using them to brew a medicinal wine, and consuming it. In the 1970s, snake-based remedies were extremely rare and prohibitively expensive, far beyond Yang's financial means. With no other options left, Yang decided to catch the snakes himself and prepare the medicine at home. Fortunately, the area surrounding his village home was teeming with venomous snakes. Yang began catching these snakes, using them to concoct his medicine and consuming it on a regular basis. Surprisingly, he realized that his ailment was gradually subsiding. However, through 3 consecutive years of dedicated practice, Yang became an expert at catching snakes. He would then sell these snakes to local traders. At that time, there was a high demand for venomous snakes in China. Consequently, he was able to sell them at exorbitant prices, earnings that were several hundred times greater than his regular income. Yet, due to the continuous catching of snakes, the snake population in the village eventually began to dwindle. Unable to find any snakes, Yang became deeply concerned. Then one day, a brilliant idea suddenly struck him. He decided to breed them himself and establish a snake farm. In 1985, he invested all his savings to open a snake farm right at his own village home. Initially, he faced financial setbacks. However, he gradually learned from his mistakes and rectified them. Before long, he achieved great success. In the beginning, Yang farmed only a single species of snake, but he gradually began to expand the variety of species he raised. He went on to open multiple farms where he bred various species of venomous snakes. With its warm, humid climate and abundant rainfall, the region proved to be the perfect environment for breeding snakes. Inspired by Yang's profitable venture, neighboring villagers also began to venture into the snake farming business. Thus, competition within the snake farming sector gradually intensified. Today, the Zhejiang province in China is home to countless villages engaged in snake farming. Some farmers breed snakes specifically for use in special restaurant dishes, while others raise them for the production of snake wine. Additionally, much like Yang, many farmers breed snakes to supply the traditional medicine industry. There was a time when the residents of this village struggled to earn even a meager income. Yet today, thanks to Yang's business model, they earn thousands of dollars annually. It is precisely because of this unique idea of his that this village has now emerged as a leading hub for snake farming in China. Most of the farmed snakes are delivered to pharmaceutical factories where medicines are manufactured using their livers and gallbladders. Additionally, snakes are farmed in this village for export to various countries around the world, such as the United States, Japan, and South Korea. Furthermore, their skins are exported to France and Italy to be crafted into luxury branded products. Witnessing the profitability of this snake farming enterprise, numerous local farmers have permanently converted their vegetable fields into snake farms. Consequently, they earn approximately 100,000 yuan per month. The primary reason snake farming is such a lucrative business is that absolutely no part of the animal goes to waste. Every single component can be sold. The most valuable part of the snake is its venom, which commands a market price of approximately $450 to $750 per gram. The most highly demanded and expensive snakes are newborn red-banded snakes. When these snakes reach 1 week of age, farmers sell them to pharmaceutical companies as their medicinal value is at its peak during this period. Other venomous snakes, such as black-striped snakes and particularly vipers, also command very high prices due to the potency of their venom. Chinese citizens utilize snakes as a form of traditional medicine to treat a wide variety of ailments. They regard every part of the snake, including its meat, bones, venom, oil, skin, blood, and gallbladder, as having medicinal properties. Snake oil is commonly used to treat skin conditions and burns. Snake wine is believed to possess the ability to cure diseases that even modern medicine cannot resolve. We witnessed this firsthand in the case of Yang, where it proved effective against his illness, an outcome that subsequently motivated him to take up snake farming. According to traditional Chinese medicine, snake wine boosts the body's immune system. Many Chinese people take snake liver capsules before consuming alcohol, as they believe these pills protect the liver from alcohol-induced damage. Furthermore, snake soup is a common dietary staple for those who are unwell. Snake skin is used to alleviate toothaches, while many Chinese people consider snake blood to be the most effective remedy for relieving body aches and joint pain. Snake bones are utilized as a supportive treatment for tuberculosis and general physical weakness, while the snake's gallbladder is believed to reduce fever and improve eyesight. Modern medical practices were introduced to China through the efforts of English missionaries. However, prior to the 18th century, traditional Chinese medicine, which incorporated the use of venomous snakes alongside herbal remedies, was the country's sole system of healthcare. To this day, these traditional medical practices remain immensely popular throughout China. In mainland China and Hong Kong, as many as 65% of elderly individuals place their faith in traditional medical methods as a means of curing ailments. Moreover, surveys indicate that in Japan, South Korea, and Singapore, approximately 50% of the population also turn to these traditional Chinese medical practices for assistance. However, friends, while snake farming can be a highly profitable business, it carries an even greater risk, the constant threat to one's life. Every single minute is fraught with the fear of a snake bite and an overwhelming sense of mental anguish. For this very reason, many snake farmers abandon the trade entirely the moment they suffer a bite from a venomous snake. Most farmers handle snakes while wearing rubber gloves, yet there are moments when they are compelled to touch the snakes with their bare hands. They simply accept the inherent risk. It is not only the bites of venomous snakes that pose a danger. There are certain cursed snakes whose bites can lead to severe infections such as tetanus. Most snake farmers do not rush to a hospital immediately after being bitten. Instead, they attempt to extract the venom themselves. They wash the wound and resort to traditional medicines. Consequently, they often find themselves entangled in even more severe complications, as herbal treatments do not always prove as effective as modern medical care. As a result, many snake farmers lose their lives. And for those who do survive through herbal treatments, the work of farming must continue amidst unceasing mental stress, a chronic ordeal that is detrimental to their health and which not even traditional Chinese medicine can ultimately remedy. Consider, for instance, the case of this particular snake farmer. When he was bitten by a snake, he was so consumed by fear that he immediately severed the affected finger. Carrying the severed finger with him, he traveled 50 miles to reach a hospital and be admitted for treatment. However, when the doctors examined the severed finger, they discovered that the snake's venom had not, in fact, been particularly potent. In other words, there was absolutely no need for him to amputate his finger. According to reports from Chinese medical professionals, approximately 40% of patients initiate self-treatment before seeking proper medical assistance. For instance, many resort to cutting off the affected finger. Others attempt to neutralize the venom by burning the skin, tightly binding the wound with ropes or wire, or even attempting to suck the poison out of the injury site. However, none of these methods are effective. In China, while the business of snake farming may appear straightforward, obtaining the necessary permits is an equally complex undertaking, primarily because snake farming is an inherently high-risk activity. Consequently, the first requirement for any prospective farmer is to secure a wildlife taming and breeding license. This license serves as official proof that the holder possesses the capability to keep animals safely and under strict control. Only after obtaining this prerequisite license can one proceed to apply for a specific snake breeding license. Essentially, possessing one license is a mandatory prerequisite for obtaining the other. The rationale behind the government's implementation of such stringent regulations stems from past incidents. Lacking proper knowledge of wildlife handling, many individuals previously attempted to farm snakes by constructing makeshift, temporary cages out of wood. However, as the snakes grew in size, they would frequently escape from these flimsy enclosures, thereby spreading panic throughout the surrounding villages.